A blowout on the highway can feel like an emergency, but once you pull over, a flat tire is no longer a crisis. It is a strictly mechanical problem, and solving it requires nothing more than the precise execution of a few physical steps. The first requirement is the geometry of your environment. You must park the vehicle on a surface that is completely flat, paved with concrete or asphalt, and safely isolated from moving traffic. Soft dirt or a slight incline will cause the lifting equipment to sink or tilt. Next, we lock the vehicle down. Turn your hazard lights on, engage the emergency parking brake, and have every passenger step out. A human body shifting its weight inside the car can destabilize the frame later on. Now gather your extraction tools from the trunk and lay them out. You will need your fully inflated spare tire, the mechanical car jack, a lug wrench, and the specific locking wheel nut key. If you skip any of these environmental checks or vehicle lockdowns, you take a predictable mechanical process and introduce severe physical risk. A 2-ton machine resting on a narrow metal jack requires absolute stability before we apply a single ounce of force. We start by removing the plastic hubcap, if your wheel has one, giving us direct access to the metal lug nuts. Take your lug wrench and slide it firmly over the first nut, making sure it is seated all the way down. Here is the primary rule of the operation. We have to apply the heavy force required to loosen these nuts right now, while the car is still entirely on the ground. This physics diagram illustrates exactly why. If you apply intense rotational force to a wrench while the car is already elevated, that energy translates directly into lateral force. That sideways push can easily destabilize the entire vehicle and knock it clean off the jack. Since the nuts are tight, you can use your body weight to your advantage. Position the wrench horizontally, brace yourself against the car frame, and press down firmly with your foot in a counterclockwise direction to break the initial tension. But do not remove the nuts entirely. You only want to give them 1 or 2 turns. By breaking the seal while the car is down, we use the massive friction between the rubber tire and the concrete road to hold the entire wheel perfectly still. We get the heavy torque out of the way without compromising the vehicle's balance. Now we transition underneath the car to find the lifting points. Look along the bottom edge of the vehicle's frame, near the flat tire, for a reinforced strip of metal known as the pinch weld. This split-screen comparison highlights the importance of finding this exact spot. On the left, the steel pinch weld is engineered to support the thousands of pounds of the car's frame. On the right, placing the jack on the brittle cosmetic plastics of the body panel will simply crush the material and drop the car. Slide the jack under the pinch weld and begin cranking. Raise the vehicle until the flat tire is completely off the ground, leaving an extra inch or 2 of clearance. Your fully inflated spare is taller than the flat, so you need that extra room to slide it on. Before doing anything else, execute the fail-safe maneuver. Take the flat tire you just removed and slide it flat onto the ground directly underneath the car's chassis, right next to the jack. This acts as an undeniable physical insurance policy. If the metal jack slips or fails for any reason, the heavy frame of the car will land directly on the thick rubber tire, rather than pinning you against the concrete. A spare tire up to the wheel well. Rotate it slightly until the holes in the rim line up perfectly with the exposed metal studs, and push the wheel flush onto the hub. Take your lug nuts and thread every single one of them back onto the studs entirely by hand. Using the heavy wrench right away can accidentally cross-thread the metal, permanently damaging the stud. Hand threading ensures they go on completely straight. Pull your fail-safe tire out from underneath the chassis. Slowly turn the jack counterclockwise to lower the vehicle back down until its full weight rests on the new spare. Now we must lock the wheel in place securely. To do this, we use a specific geometric sequence known as the star pattern. Look at this diagram outlining the exact sequence. You never tighten the nuts in a simple circle. You tighten nut number 1, then skip directly across the center to nut number 2. Continue in this diagonal pattern, drawing a 5-point star across all the bolts. Shifting our perspective to a wheel hub cross-section, we see the mechanics. Tightening diagonally forces the heavy metal rim to sit perfectly flat and flush against the brake rotor. Use your wrench and moderate upper body weight to give each nut a firm, snug turn. Do not over-tighten by stomping on the wrench, as extreme pressure can actually shear the steel studs right off the wheelbase. The star pattern guarantees symmetrical mechanical pressure across the entire wheel. That balanced tension ensures the rim is perfectly seated, preventing the tire from violently wobbling once you accelerate back up to highway speeds. Step back and collect your equipment. Secure the punctured flat tire, the jack, and the lug wrench safely back into the trunk compartments so nothing becomes a loose projectile inside the car. Your car is mobile again, but you must treat a small donut spare for what it is, a temporary mechanical crutch. It lacks the heavy tread and reinforced sidewalls of your standard tires. This graphic lays out the engineering thresholds that cannot be violated. You must keep your speed firmly under 50 miles per hour, and the tire is only rated to travel a maximum distance of 50 miles. Your immediate objective now is to drive directly to a professional tire shop. The technicians will patch the original tire or replace it, and they will use a calibrated torque wrench to ensure the final tightening sequence meets the exact manufacturer specifications. By respecting the physical forces involved and following the sequence, you have safely neutralized the breakdown. You took a dangerous roadside emergency and methodically reduced it to a controlled temporary setback.